Hey, what's going on? So in today's video, I want to talk to you about ice dams. So I've got a problem on my own house, which really sucks. You can see the ice is built up pretty bad up there, and it's coming out of the siding. You can see that. Coming out of the bottom of the window. And then down here, it's really bad. And how I noticed it was it's actually leaking in the kitchen. You can see I've got a cup of water right there, and we had some towels out last night when it started. But so I gotta deal with this today. So this is not good, but luckily it didn't get into the house yet. It didn't damage any drywall or anything like that. I put a moisture tester on the drywall and it's still dry. So I'm gonna go up in the attic and I'll show you where it's leaking up there. And then we'll start taking this off, and I'll explain what causes ice dams and how to fix them. So, all right, let's do this. There it is. There's the culprit dripping right there. And there's some more dripping right there. I don't see any more down here. It's just at the very end over there. And I don't see anything on the other side, so that's good. There's a lot of mold up here though. That's not good. Feel that mold? That's not good. That's a separate issue. I don't think that's a leak, but there is a lot of moisture on that edge there. So I've got some work to do. So based on inspecting in the attic, you could see the icicles coming out of the soffit right there. Basically in between this window and the end is where it's leaking upstairs in the attic. So that's the spot that I gotta really take care of immediately. But when you look down here, that ice dam is super thick. So we're gonna deal with all that. So I got my two huge ladders to get up there, so I could set up two ladders and bounce around. And I've got my roof rake. I really like this roof rake because it's adjustable. There's these little thumb latches, you push them, and this thing goes out to be like 3 times as long as it is right now. And then I've also got a bucket of roof melt. These are like little pucks that melt the ice. You can see the little diagram there. And they melt the ice and help that. So actually, while I have this diagram here, let me explain this. So how an attic is supposed to work is there's ventilation down here, and that's the soffit vent, and it lets cool air go up into the attic, and then there's a ridge vent up top. And the theory is that circulates cold air in through the attic, and your attic is supposed to stay cold. So you need a lot of insulation to hold the heat in. Now, when I redid the house, I put, I forget what it got up there, I think R30, and I've always been wanting to put a layer of R19 cross-hatched over it to make it R49. I just haven't gotten to it, and now I'm suffering the consequences. Now, this shouldn't really be happening on my roof because I have ice and water shield actually on the entire roof. Normally, a lot of guys do 3 foot. You're supposed to do 6 foot. I did the whole roof just to make sure it was safe, but it's still leaking. So that's how bad the ice dams are. And what ends up happening is the snow melts on the roof here because the heat loss is coming up, and then it gets to the overhang and there's no heat here, so it's cold. So it freezes and causes an ice dam. Basically, you know, it's a big chunk of ice, and then as that water continues to melt, it creates a little pond there, and that seeps back up under the shingles and inside the house. Now, luckily mine, it seems like up in the attic is leaking down onto the soffit, and it's getting back and traveling between the Tyvek and the siding, and that's why it's coming out the siding and not going into the house. So that's a really good thing, so I don't have to tear any walls apart inside. I just have to deal with the ice and then let this dry out, and if it blisters and peels on the exterior, then I got to repaint that side anyway at some point, so I might have to repaint that side of the house this year. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna take care of all the snow up on the roof, get it off, or at least get as much of it off as possible. And then while I'm at it, I might deal with this side because it's not looking much better. All right, got my ladder set up. Here we go. Holy sh**. That ice has got to be 10 inches thick, at least. Okay, so this is like really thick, right? So, I don't know, it's 10 inches thick, maybe more. And you can see here, there's like, this is like perfectly flat, like a shelf. And then it's frozen solid out here. As you get in towards the roof, it becomes very wet. So that's the dam that I was talking about. So this is solid, this is wet because the roof is warm, and you can actually like pick your finger in and get right down to the roof. So the water goes in there, can't go any farther, and backs under the roof because that's the path of least resistance for the water. So let's get this snow off of the roof. Okay, so you can finally see I just got up to the ridge vent and it's all covered in snow. So when it's covered in snow, it can't vent properly. So that's the downside to these heavy snowfalls. So let's peel back as much of this as we can off the ridge vent too. Okay, so here's a really great example. There's just a puddle of water sitting here. And that's just creeping right up under these shingles. So I'm gonna go get some of those ice pucks and try to place them in a line so that they create like a channel here. So we'll see how that works. I might even get a hammer and chisel some of this out a little bit, and then we'll keep going across the roof. Okay, do your work. Let's see if this thing actually works. Seems like it's already starting to melt. Cool. And here's the other bad spot. Oh yeah, it's already starting to melt right there. They're working. So hopefully that'll penetrate down and create a channel, and then some of that water will have somewhere to get out. I'm gonna keep going. I'll come back and check on these later, I think. Yeah, see, that's right where the icicles are coming out. There and there. It's actually over a little farther than where I was, so maybe once I clear some more off, I'll put one right over that area. All right, so you can see I got the whole roof all cleared off. I wasn't really keeping track of time, but I think that took me about 2 hours. And I made these little channels with the hammer all the way down every couple feet, and you can see the pucks working really good. They just like melt their way down in there. So I'm gonna let these all kind of melt and then come back through and put more pucks in. I'm actually gonna do another little channel right there at the really bad spot. I want to hit some more there. So yeah, that's it. I'll show you what it looks like when these are all melted. And you can tell they're working because at the bottom of each channel there's a drip. So like right here there's a drip, and right here there's a drip. So they're working. All right, so over on this left side where I started, the pucks are already all the way down to the roof. These top ones, the bottom ones, they have to go through more. They're not quite there yet. So this is pretty cool. It's given that water somewhere to go. If you remember, there was a big puddle here, so that's all gone. That made its way down into these and is dripped out. So I'm just gonna keep working at it a little bit. Make sure they all got spots to go. Hey!
What's the problem?
Oh yeah. The ice dams.
Just the ice dam?
There we go. All right, so it's been a couple days. I shoveled the roof on Thursday, and then I had to plow Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today's Sunday. And I'm catching this just before the sun goes down. I just got done plowing. Looks like most of the ice has actually melted off the siding, probably just from the sun hitting it. It's still been below freezing, but it's looking good on the siding. And then up top, you can see the icicles starting to reform because we've had some snow and that's melting. And all those icicles are coming down where all those channels are. So it's working so that the ice is not building up on the roof, at least has somewhere to travel. So as you can see here, the snow is melted off the roof. I'm gonna try to get some insulation in there, but here's where my channel is. So there's the asphalt, and the channel is still mostly there, right? So that's pretty good. It's really working well. We're supposed to get a couple days above freezing this week, and actually some rain too. So my hope is that it melts and I might come up here and hack the rest of this off, but at least I got the leak to stop and got this water somewhere to go. I gotta do the other side of the roof still, but that one's not leaking yet. So I'm gonna try to get to that this week when the weather's a little nicer. But anyway, so that's it. That's how I tackle snow and ice dams on a roof. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And if you do this, please be safe. Please be safe. And hire a professional if you can afford it. There are plenty of contractor guys like me out there who do this kind of stuff. I actually don't do this for other people anymore. It just happens to be my own house. So, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel for more. I'll see you on the next one.